The second season picks up right where we left off, with Song Gi-hun making the fateful decision to turn back from the plane and re-enter the twisted world of the games. He is determined not just to win again, but to dismantle the entire operation from the inside. This season follows his harrowing journey as he navigates a new set of deadly challenges, all while secretly trying to ignite a revolution among the other desperate players. He sees the same fear and desperation in their eyes that he once felt, and he believes that together, they can overthrow their masked captors and expose the wealthy VIPs who watch them for sport. It's a mission fueled by guilt, rage, and a desperate need for redemption. The season finale, titled Friend or Foe, brings Gi-hun's ambitious plan to a dramatic and violent climax. He manages to convince a core group of players, including his trusted new ally Jung-bae, to join his cause. Their plan is audacious: to seize weapons from the guards during a game, fight their way to the central control room, and expose the entire conspiracy to the world. For a fleeting moment, it seems like they might actually succeed. The rebellion erupts in a chaotic flurry of action as players turn on their pink-suited overseers, creating a brief but powerful image of the oppressed, fighting back against their powerful, faceless tormentors. Unfortunately, the hope is short-lived and brutally extinguished. The game's architects were always one step ahead. The rebellion is systematically and efficiently crushed by the guards, who are far better armed and ruthlessly disciplined. The players' makeshift weapons and desperate courage are no match for the organization's overwhelming force. The uprising ends in bloodshed and failure, with many of Gi-hun's fellow rebels either killed or captured. This crushing defeat serves as a bleak reminder of the system's immense power and the near impossibility of fighting it from within, setting the stage for the season's most devastating final moments. The final scene of the rebellion is a masterclass in despair. Gi-hun is captured and forced to watch as his revolution crumbles around him. The other players are rounded up, their brief spark of defiance completely snuffed out. The message is clear: the house always wins. This failure is not just a strategic loss for Gi-hun, it is a profound psychological blow. He had placed all his faith in the idea of collective action, believing that humanity's better angels could triumph over the system's cruelty. The game's creators, however, have a much darker view of human nature, and they make sure Gi-hun understands that his efforts were not just futile, but foolish. Just when it seems things can't get any worse for Gi-hun, the season delivers its most shocking twist. The enigmatic and terrifying frontman, who has orchestrated the games with cold, detached efficiency, finally reveals his identity. He is not, as many suspected, Hwang In-ho, the brother of police officer Jun-ho from Season 1. In a stunning turn of events, the frontman is revealed to be Young Il, a new character who had secretly entered the games himself. His goal was not to win the money, but to personally manipulate the events from the inside, testing his dark philosophy about human nature directly against Gi-hun's persistent hope. This revelation completely recontextualizes the entire season. Young Il's presence as a player was a grand deception, designed to break Gi-hun's spirit in the most personal way possible. He wanted to prove a point, that under pressure everyone is selfish, and that ideals like solidarity and hope are illusions. To hammer this point home, he commits the ultimate act of cruelty. In front of a captive and helpless Gi-hun, the frontman murders Jung-bae, the very friend Gi-hun had inspired to join his rebellion. It is a cold, calculated act, meant to demonstrate the futility of Gi-hun's fight, and the dark truth of the world he inhabits. The season ends on a brutal cliffhanger that leaves Gi-hun's fate entirely uncertain. He is held captive by the guards, his spirit shattered, forced to witness the murder of his friend at the hands of the game's master. The frontman taunts him, his victory seemingly absolute. Will Gi-hun be executed? Will he be forced to continue playing in the remaining games as a broken man? Or does the frontman have an even more twisted fate in mind for him, perhaps grooming him as a successor? The screen cuts to black, leaving audiences with a profound sense of dread and a desperate need for answers about what happens next. This ending is a profound statement on the show's core themes. It suggests that the system isn't just a faceless machine. It is run by people who have fully embraced its nihilistic worldview. The frontman's plan was to prove that humanity's inherent selfishness will always win out over its capacity for good. By crushing Gi-hun's rebellion and personally executing his friend, he has seemingly proven his point. The final image of Gi-hun, defeated and horrified, leaves us questioning whether any one person can truly stand against such a deeply corrupt and powerful system, or if resistance is ultimately useless. While the finale focused heavily on Gi-hun's tragic failure, the season was filled with high stakes that saw several key characters meet their end. Among the most notable deaths was the recruiter, the well-dressed man played by Gong Yu, who lures players into the game with a simple game of Dadakji. His demise signals that no one associated with the game, no matter their role, is entirely safe. Furthermore, several key players who joined Gi-hun's rebellion, including the determined Yong-seok and Gi-hun's close friend Jung-bae, were tragically killed, emphasizing the high cost of defiance. Even Thanos, a brutal but memorable contestant, did not make it to the end. However, several crucial characters remain alive, setting the stage for a dramatic third season. Of course, Gi-hun himself survives, though he is left in a physically and emotionally compromised state. The menacing frontman, now revealed as the manipulative Young-il, is also very much alive and in control, his dark experiment seemingly a success. The survival of these two opposing forces ensures that their ideological and personal conflict will be at the heart of the story moving forward. Their battle is far from over, and the power dynamic has shifted dramatically, with the frontman holding all the cards. One of the most important subplots revolves around the police officer, Hwang Jun-ho. After being shot and falling off a cliff at the end of Season 1, he is revealed to be alive in Season 2. However, he is being manipulated by his superior, Captain Park, who is secretly working for the frontman. Jun-ho spends the season believing he is on the verge of exposing the organization, but he is actually being fed misinformation and led down a false path. This sets up a major confrontation for Season 3, where Jun-ho will inevitably discover the betrayal and have to fight his way out of the web of lies spun around him. The survival of these specific characters feels intentional, creating a complex web of future conflict. We have Gi-hun, the broken idealist, the frontman, the victorious cynic, and Jun-ho, the seeker of justice who is trapped in a lie. Their stories are on a collision course. The other surviving players and even some of the guards who witnessed the rebellion are also wild cards. Will they remain silent? Or could the memory of the uprising inspire future attempts to dismantle the game? The board has been reset, but the key pieces are still in play for the final confrontation. The explosive finale of Season 2 did more than just shock viewers. It masterfully set up a third season by leaving a trail of tantalizing and urgent questions. The most immediate question, of course, is what will happen to Gi-hun? Is he now a permanent prisoner of the game, or does the frontman have a more sinister plan for him? The idea that he could be groomed to become the next frontman is a popular and chilling theory. His journey from victim to potential perpetrator would be the ultimate tragic arc, forcing him to become the very thing he sought to destroy. Another major question revolves around the frontman's ultimate endgame. Now that we know his identity and his methods, what is his final goal? Is crushing Gi-hun's spirit enough, or is this part of a larger plan to solidify his own power within the organization? We still know very little about the VIPs and the creator of the games, Oh Il-nam, who was revealed in Season 1. The frontman's motivations seem deeply personal and philosophical, and Season 3 must explore the history and ideology that drives him to inflict such calculated cruelty on others, especially on someone like Gi-hun. The subplot with police officer Jun-ho also leaves us hanging. When will he discover that his trusted captain is a traitor? And what will he do once he realizes he is a pawn in the frontman's game? His quest for justice for his brother has now become deeply entangled with the organization's internal power struggles. His storyline promises a collision between the official law and the shadow law of the games, and his actions could become a critical factor in the final fight. Will he be able to find real allies, or is he destined to fight this battle completely alone? This cliffhanger ending is precisely why everyone is talking about the show. It subverted expectations by ending mid-game and transforming the story from one of survival to a direct ideological war between two men. The show has left its global audience in a state of suspense, debating theories about Gi-hun's fate, the frontman's true purpose, and how this sprawling, brutal narrative could possibly conclude. By doubling down on its dark social commentary and raising the personal stakes to an almost unbearable level, has ensured that the wait for Season 3 will be filled with anticipation and endless speculation,